I was hoping that was nothing but a bad dream. The Jets didn't really lose to the Denver Broncos 10-9, right? I'm being told they actually did. Well, that sucked balls, but we have to look forward and also evaluate a few things like Aaron Rodgers getting banged up in this game and Aaron Rodgers sharing an update after it. Let's roll.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
You're fucking
What's going on, people? Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. Thanks for joining us, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us. Right off the top rope, every time we get a new member to the Boy Green Coffee Club, which is our YouTube membership group, we play the NFL Draft Chimes. And shout out right off the top rope to our guy, mother_effing_chew, who gifted a membership, and that membership went to Friggy D or Friggle D. Either way, you're now a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club, baby. And speaking of MFC, we flipped the switch because we are 47 members away from MFC getting his emoji to be remembered forever. He's a great supporter of the show, and that's what we try to do. For all the great supporters of the show who are interacting and helping the show live, breathe, and everything else, we try to give some love. And by the way, let's give another shout out here. We have an emoji to reveal. You guys can now see it yourself. Shout out to Snowball for putting this together. The shout out is to Johnny Boy. There you go. Johnny Boy with that very emoji. For all our Boy Green Coffee Club members, you can now use this Johnny Boy emoji that Snowball put together. Dink, dink. Feel free to use it. There you go, Johnny Boy. Finally, you live in emoji form forever, which is terrific. A couple other quick shout-outs. We're 29 people, subscribers away from 7,000. Shout out to you guys, and we appreciate it. 29 away from 7K. Can you believe it? But let's get right into it with the Aaron Rodgers injury, and there's a full article in the YouTube description down below. And it is this. Aaron Rodgers got beat up in this game, folks. He got sacked 5 times, hit 14 times, pressured 22 times. Thank you to Zach Rosenblatt of The Athletic for that. Aaron Rodgers after the game said, quote, "Yeah, I got some stuff with both legs, so I'll get in the hot tub in a little bit." When asked to specify, is it knee, is it this, is it that, Aaron Rodgers did not specify of what exactly he was dealing with. Head coach Robert Salah was also asked after the game, and oh boy, it looked like Rodgers was getting some additional medical attention when he was sitting on the bench. This is what Robert Salah had to say. "I don't." He was asked if he has an update on Rodgers' status. He's fine, though. Probably just a little wear and tear from the football game. So it seems like, by all accounts, Aaron Rodgers survived the Denver Broncos game without a serious injury, it appears. That's good news. Sure, absolutely. But he's not going to survive a lot of these if this is the pass protection for the New York Jets. Now, you could say 1 or 2 of those plays were on Aaron holding the ball a tick too long. That's fair. But boy, this unit has to be better, man. Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old, man. He's going to turn 41 in December. He cannot survive getting smacked around like this. He cannot. It was brutal. It was from the opening moment of the game. The opening moment of the game, he got whacked with a sack, and you're like, oh boy, so this is what the game's going to be. Again, it's great that Aaron Rodgers survived. Blessed be he. But if this keeps happening, he's not going to survive. And to be honest, we headed into the game, and the pass protection had been pretty halfway decent for the New York Jets. Not bad for Aaron. It was terrible in this game. It was just mistakes from people you don't expect mistakes from. And man, the Jets were just getting tossed around. Absolutely getting tossed around. So I just because we know what offense looks like without Aaron Rodgers, and we know what it looked like yesterday with Aaron Rodgers. Not good, Bob. Not good. Not great, specifically. And there's another one, James. That's a good point. We didn't even talk about that. The bigger news. AVT survived the Broncos game. Let's go. Blessed be he. By the way, John Gruden, think about this. In film review, he said that AVT, this before this game that just happened, he said AVT has been, quote unquote, by far the Jets' best offensive lineman on tape, and he gave him a shout out for being healthy. So shout out to AVT. That's a great point, James. We lost that in the shuffle. There's no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it. That's great. Here's more great news. Because for people who are new to the channel, we're approaching 7,000 subscribers, which is terrific. So we got a lot of new people to the show. And people may say, if they watched me for the first time yesterday, screaming F-bombs left to right, they may go like, oh, what's this guy's problem? Well, I'm a positive guy by nature. I'm glass half full, but I snapped a little yesterday. I admit it. I snapped. We can all go there. You know, it's important to not bottle up emotions from what I'm told. But the Jets, they're only one game out of first place in the AFC East, baby. Just when we thought we were out, they pull us back in, baby. Oh, yes. After the Buffalo Bills got pistol whipped against the Baltimore Ravens, the Jets sit just a game out of first place in the AFC East. The Miami Dolphins play tonight against the Tennessee Titans with Snoop Huntley at quarterback. Tim Boyle is the backup. Okay. So, as shitty, excuse my Guatemalan, as yesterday was, okay, that sucked. It sucked to watch. It sucked to talk about. It sucked all over the place. But yet, the Jets sit just a game out of first place, and they haven't played the Buffalo Bills yet. You know what? Not too shabby. Not too shabby. So, from a positive perspective, from an optimistic point of view, well, okay, everything is still in front of the Jets. We're only 4 weeks through the season. Only 4 weeks from from the start of the season. We're 2-2. 500. Not where I preferred to be, but you know what? That's where we are. And boy, I said it yesterday. I will reiterate. I will repeat. The Jets better buckle that bleeping chin strap because their next 3 games are as follows. They are 3 standalone games, which means they will be the only game on in town at their particular time slot. Week 5. London international trip against the undefeated Minnesota Vikings. London, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time kick. Our boy Green Daily that day will be a pregame show. Sam Darnold, our old friend. We'll talk more about him later in the week. Next game, Monday Night Football hosting the Buffalo Bills, where AFC East supremacy could very well be on the line. And then the game after that, in Pittsburgh, Acrisure, formerly Heinz Field, Sunday Night Football. Boom, boom, boom. And just to include it, we also play the New England Patriots again. The Jets better hope that this was a blip on the radar for a lot of different things. Yeah, and as caller said yesterday, I don't want to say, oh, here's a wake-up call. How many wake-up calls are the Jets going to get? Week 1 was a wake-up call. Johnny Boy actually was the one who said it. I remember. The 49ers was a wake-up call of like, oh, we think we're this. And whoa, okay, we're this. You don't get like every 3 weeks like an alarm clock that says, hey, here's where you are. Here's a temperature check. Here's this. No. Absolutely not. You gotta strap up. Shout out to my father who chimed in the comment section of the Boy Green Coffee Club before he heads to the plant. Appreciate you, Pop. There we go. Thank you very much. Appreciate you getting involved in the comment section before work. But again, point blank, plain and simple here. There can't just be these alarm clock games where the Jets just fall asleep. There was no reason to fall asleep. The Jets had extra rest. Can I just ask this to the universe? It's sort of rhetorical because the phone lines aren't open yet, but like, Why do the Jets suck when they have more time than others, right? Like the Andy Reids of the world, when they have extra time, they're like lethal because they have so much extra time to prepare and cook up even more things. The Jets, they get extra time. I don't know if they're slapping each other on the ass. I have no idea what's happening. What goes on the extra days? It seems like they were more unprepared than ever. I don't understand. We had extra time to get ready. Historically, in the Robert Salah era, you have extra time. That's bad news. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know how that makes any sense, but it's the truth. The numbers are the numbers. It's just, it's hard to fathom. We're like, oh, great. The Jets get rest. They played 3 games in 10 days. Okay, now they got some rest. Oh, wow. They should, in theory, at home against this inferior opponent. Again, I still call Denver that they beat us straight up, and I was dead wrong. I thought the Jets were going to blow the barn doors off Denver, and I was dead wrong. I cannot take that L any harder than I am. I was an idiot. Absolutely. But again, this Bo Nix had 60 yards passing and -7 in the first half. The Jets should have won this game. They did not. And they have no one to blame but themselves. They shot themselves in the foot with penalties. That's on coaching. The pre-snap stuff, the post-snap stuff. The only one I excuse is the Allen Lazard thing, which I thought was stupid. But, putting one aside, you were penalized 15 times and you were only flagged you were only accepted 13 times. So the Jets better hope what we saw is not a sign of things to come, but rather a blip. They made a mistake. They effed up. They screwed the pooch. Teams are allowed bad games. It happens. Look around the league. People getting upset left and right. The Bengals started 0-3 before finally beating the Panthers this week. Like, it can happen. You can turn it around. You can dust yourself off and turn around. The season is not over. We're 2-2. Gary, using the boxing reference, we're 2-2. 4 rounds in, we've won 2, we've lost 2. Again, not how I would have drawn it up if I had the ability to. But nonetheless, that's where we're at. So, like I said, the New York Jets have to. So, to go back to the beginning, we've got 300 people in the room right now. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. We're getting closer and closer to 7,000 subs. The key is for the Jets, they need to protect Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers says he has things going on in both of his legs. He got beat up. He got battered. He got bruised. He got beaten. He got sacked. He got hit. He got pressured. That's not a sustainable strategy for success. Aaron Rodgers will eventually break. It's going to be that toy. We tell our kids, hey, careful with that thing. You might break it. Shut up, Dad. Shut up, Dad. Oh, geez, it broke. Yeah, that's what's going to happen with old Aaron Rodgers. We got to protect the franchise, man. It starts with that offensive line. Coaching, the undisciplined nature. It just can't happen, man. It just can't happen. Absolutely cannot happen. The simple stuff of pass protection. Breece Hall seemingly blocking the wrong guy. I don't know their exact scheme. We don't know exactly everyone's responsibilities, but like Breece Hall blocking the wrong guy and an uninterrupted guy smacks Rodgers. Whoa, what happened there? Garrett Wilson not being on the same page very clearly would have been a massive play at that pocket point. End of the game. Aaron Rodgers gave a signal to Garrett Wilson. Apparently, Garrett Wilson did not understand what that meant of Bluebird. And then, whoop, throws it. Garrett was wide open. If he cut, there was no Bronco around him. If he just had that in cut, and then nothing. It skips to his feet. Rodgers is looking at him like, dude, the hell? They just have not been on the same page. That's incredibly frustrating. Garrett Wilson is supposed to be one of our best players, but we haven't seen it so far through the first month of the season. It's incredibly frustrating, man. These guys should be on the same page. They have worked together for training camp and preseason and this or that. And I know it's not at the level of Devontae Adams, who you spent 1,000 years with. I get that. I understand the realism there. But, I mean, for goodness sake, where's the connection? Where's the next level? That's where I think a lot of us are at right now. All right, let's do this. Let's open up the phone lines early here. Let's do that. Let's hear what the people have to say, because the phone lines were off the hook. absolutely off the hook yesterday. It was the most off the hook they've ever been. I got a notification from StreamYard, which is where we do this show from, to say, hey, Paul, people are trying to call in and get on hold, but there's already too many people in the room waiting. And I went, wow, I've never had that happen before. So we'll see if that continues this morning. You guys can call into the show here. I've just put it in. We're replacing the pinned comment. 1 second here. Here we go. Let's replace the pinned message. There you are. If you'd like to call into the show, you can do so. That is youtube.com/boygreen25. We're streaming live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. If you want to call into the show, you have to hop on over to YouTube, youtube.com/boygreen25. You can call into the show. If you'd like to join the Boy Green Coffee Club, that is down below in the YouTube comments section. Join the Boy Green Coffee Club here. Click. And you can join in. We are 47 members away from honoring MFC. We already honored Johnny Boy earlier today. Let's go to the phone lines here on the show. Tim from Fishland, you're first up.
Morning, Paul. Yeah, that game is all on the coaching staff.
Yeah.
Completely on the coaching staff, not getting their players ready. All right. If I'm Salah, we're flying out to London tomorrow, and guess what? You guys are getting 2-a-days, and Zerline, you're kicking 8 hours a day. Okay, I'm tired of seeing these shank kicks that he does. Every other kicker right down the middle. He's not trying to do this shank kick. Okay, it's unbelievable that we even had a chance to win that game at the end, and he can't even make a 50-yard field goal, which is a gimme in the NFL. I'm sorry what you guys said, but it's unbelievable, man. That game was just total crap, and it's the coaching staff. It's obviously the coaching staff, because this doesn't happen with Andy Reid. This never really happened with Belichick. It doesn't happen with Harbaugh. It doesn't happen with what's his name, San Francisco.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't get it. It's like the jet stick. It's like, I don't know if they're riding too high, thinking that they're better than them or whatnot. But, I mean, Denver's defense is for real.
We lost you, Tim. You're on mute. Nope.
Well, I got somebody calling me, Paul.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay, yep, I appreciate it. Thanks for the call, Tim. Yeah, I don't know. If it was the Jets thought they were better than someone else, that doesn't make sense. Like, again, it's fair for me. I'm a random fan, analyst, whatever the hell you want to call me. Like, I'm overlooking the Broncos like, okay, Paul, you're an idiot, and I could take that. Like, the Jets shouldn't have. Denver went into Tampa and beat an undefeated Tampa team and blew the barn doors off them. And you had, like I said, all the extra crap with the Hackett and the Champagne thing. Like, the Jets should have been as motivated as anyone could possibly be motivated. That seems like a pretty lame excuse from that perspective. If that is what happened. That's wild. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. NY Jets FL, you're up.
I have to laugh, Paul. I couldn't call in yesterday.
Yeah.
Tim went to a spot that I wanted to go
Great.
to. Denver has, and I'm not excusing anything the Jets did with their performance. Denver held Baker Mayfield to 6 points and sacked him 7 times last week. And then they came out and scored 33 on the Eagles. I think that team is where we were last year with Zach Wilson, but maybe with a slightly better defense. So I'm going to give them credit because they had all the answers and we were atrocious on top of it. But I think that defense is better than a lot of people think. The only other good thing that came out of it was Josh Allen got the shit kicked out of him. And anybody who wants to annoy the team, Allen, like the Bills, and say, oh, Josh Allen is great, Josh Allen's a god. And he was great, and he is a fighter because he kept getting up and making plays, okay? And that one sideline throw he made to Shakur was amazing when he was running out of man. It was sick. It was the craziest thing you'd see. But don't annoy the team. The best team in the NFL by far right now is the Ravens. If they play like that every week, there's no one going to beat that team. Paul, the most disturbing thing I saw yesterday of everything that I saw and heard was Aaron Rodgers at the press conference say, we have to hold the players accountable. Okay. I don't know if that was any kind of comment on Salah but he said it, and maybe it's a little too loosey-goosey in that locker room. And Rodgers was saying, we need to tighten things up. And I have to say, I agree with Jay Klein yesterday, where Salah, I would say this. If we look bad last week, I would fire Salah next week.
Wow.
I really would. That's the point I'm at. We can't go into Buffalo. If we come out and we lose, I don't think we will. But if we come out and lose, 28-17, and we look, as penalty laden as we did, and the same old, I would fire him. I really would. The season's. I think he's game to game right now. I really think he's game to game, and Rodgers is obviously irritated with him.
Yeah, I would say for people who missed the presser, I think the point of consternation in that particular instance was Salah was asked about the cadence that Aaron Rodgers has of like drawing people offside. So Salah spoke first. He was asked about the cadence. He's like, maybe we could cut some of that back and just not do the crazy cadence and just remove it, or either remove it completely or just lessen it significantly. So Salah steps off the podium. Rodgers comes up to the podium. He's like, hey, Salah just said maybe we could cut back the cadence. You could tell immediately Aaron Rodgers was pissed off at that. It's like, and he said, because I re-listened to the clip right before the show, is that he said, sure, we could do that, or we could hold the players accountable. And this has been a weapon for us all offseason. We've practiced it in camp. We've practiced it in preseason games. Going into this game, we only had one false start from that, and that one false start that happened was on Morgan Moses. It happened once. And then this game, it blows up, and I think Rodgers said there was 5 of them in the middle of the game. That's the point of consternation and that's going to happen where media people ask Salah a question. He's going to give an answer. When Rodgers steps up next, they're going to say, hey, Salah just said this. Thoughts? And then that's where we're going to start getting the clashing of them together. So I wish Salah wouldn't have said that. That obviously pissed off Aaron Rodgers. And why wouldn't it? It's something Aaron Rodgers has used his entire career. I agree with Rodgers.
Exactly.
Again, situationally, I don't love using the hard cadence on 4th and goal where you can't change your destiny. Even if the other team jumps off sides, it goes from a yard to a half yard. So I don't agree with it there. But overall, that's one cherry-picked example. Overall, I love the cadence. That's awesome. How many people were screaming for the touchdown against the 49ers on the free play? Of course, all of us were, because it was freaking awesome. So let's not take away the cadence just because we had one shitty game. You just got to hold the players accountable and say, hey, man, clean up your shit in practice this week. That's where they should be.
I agree, Paul, and I believe they're coddling Breece Hall. Okay,
yes,
like they did with Zach Wilson. Okay, I don't give a shit. Sorry, if he's a starter or not. But when you are at the line of scrimmage and you're a running back, and it's blocked, you go forward and you make 1 or 2 positive yards. You don't go down. Okay, I don't know what he's doing. Yeah. And if I see that as a coach, and it's not the first time, Paul, this has happened continuously. I kept questioning the fact that is Breece, is he hurt? Why is he in the game if he can't, hit the line and make a couple yards? I just don't understand it. I like I said yesterday, let's come out in 13 personnel and run, especially in that weather. Okay, I don't care whose feelings you hurt. Who's the starter? Bill Belichick would have seen Breece Hall and said, dude, you need to sit for a while. Let's see in the third quarter, and let's see what Mr. Allen can do. And if you want, I'm going to put you back in, and if you show something, I'm gonna ride you. Okay? This has got to be favored playing. I'd say enough is enough, Paul. This is my call from yesterday. Sorry, Paul. I'm not over it. I won't be over it. And yeah, you have a lot of calls probably, but week to week, Paul, somehow we're 2-2. Buffalo came back to reality. Mm-hmm. No team is great in the NFL. There really is no great team. So, and the Chiefs are not. Okay, they are beatable on the right, under the right conditions. They are beatable.
The most
So,
fugazi 4-0 team of all time. I mean, absolute fugazi. So, again, we will see. Rashee Rice is going to be out for the season. Hollywood Brown's out for the season. Pacheco's likely out for the season. Like, they're 4-0, fine. And give credit where credit's due. But come on, man. Yeah, you poke that Pillsbury Doughboy in the belly button. We're getting some air. We're getting some poo. So, oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's all I got, Paul. I appreciate you letting me vent. But, play calling in that kind of condition, I did see a lot of short passes at the line of scrimmage to Conklin and Breece. They tried to do that, and maybe that was an effect of the pass rush. That wasn't working either.
No.
Go big boy, go Braylon Allen and 13 personnel. I mean, somehow Denver found a way to run the ball.
Didn't true. They did. Yeah, they really got it going in the second half.
Ridiculous ball.
Yeah.
Ridiculous ball. Have a great day, Paul. As always.
Appreciate the call. Thank you, NY Jets FL. I'll just continue on that point for a second. We have more calls. We also have a massive super chat we'll get to in a second, too. The Jets are coddling Breece Hall. You heard it with Robert Salah in the post-game presser. Hey, why didn't you go to Braylon Allen on 1st and goal from the 1, 2nd and goal from the 1, 3rd and goal from the 1, 4th and goal from the why didn't you go there? Well, Breece is our guy. Like, dude, no, we all love Breece here on the fan base, man. We love Breece. But sometimes it's not your day. Sometimes the situation requires somebody else. That's why you drafted Braylon. He's 6'1". He's 235 pounds. Use him. Ram him in like a battering ram. Literally. Every time he touches the ball, he falls forward. Every time. Every time he contact hits, he goes straight. And Dan, the Jets fan, 21, says, could Braylon out take a direct snap from the goal line, sneak it in? For fuck's sake. I mean, Dan, I'd love to see it. That'd be great. Why not give it a whirl? But that's coddling a Breece. Breece is a really good player, but he's never going to take 100% of the snaps. There's nothing wrong with it when it's not your day. You just look Breece in the face, say, hey, Breece, hey, man, it's just not your day. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why you're falling down immediately on contact. I don't know why you have 10 rushes for 4 yards, which is 0.4 per carry. I don't know why you do, but we're going to go with the youngster right now. We're going to go Braylon, and we'll come back to you later in the game maybe. So just be ready. You just don't have it right now, kid. All right. You just got to make a business decision and roll. And there's some coddling going on. Breece is talented. I'm not saying fire Breece, throw him out the door. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying situationally we could go to somebody else. Why not go to Braylon? That's neither here nor there. We'll get back to the phone lines. We got a massive YouTube super chat coming in. Every time we get a super chat, baby, we get some chiming in from my daughter, Zariah Luna.
Wow.
WOW. Douglas McClure here. Appreciate the super chat. Wow, very sizable. I really appreciate it. I get so sick of this fan base acting like the game happens in a vacuum. Denver D doesn't have big names, but they shut down Bucks a week before. And while Knicks only threw 60 yards, they were the 60 at exactly the right time. Yeah. It's a fair point. The Denver D does not have big names. They only have one, and I found this out on the broadcast yesterday. They only have one first rounder. It's on the defensive side of the ball. That is PS2. That's Patrick Surtain II. That's our guy. They did shut down the Bucks. The Bucks were destroyed. They lost like 27-6 or 33-6, whatever the score was. They got blown out. And Knicks had -7 passing yards in the first. I can't believe I'm saying that, and that's a real stat. -7 passing yards in the first half. He ended up with 60, and they did come at the right time. And the Jets had chances to make plays at their right time, and it never happened. It never happened. This Broncos loss sucks for a lot of reasons. It's your first loss in the AFC. It's a game you shoulda, coulda, woulda had. And I hope to the high heavens so we don't look back and say, damn, the Jets just missed winning the division. Whoa, the Jets just missed making the playoffs or whatever because of this loss right here of a game we coulda, shoulda, woulda won. That's what I hope. I hope that is not there. Because that was a disturbing game. There's just no other way to put it. I can't remember a game that I was more livid at than that one. The Giants won last year the Giants game last year is probably pretty close, but that at least that one you won. This one you did not. But great super chat. Thank you, Douglas, for sending that in. All right, let's go back to the phone lines here. We've got Tommy here on the show. What's up, Tommy?
Paul, what's going on, brother?
It's good to see you.
Wow, I woke up at 4:30 this morning and I heard your rant about the game yesterday and a lot of F-bombs, and it's
Yes.
well deserved. There's so many things. I woke up in the morning and I saw it was raining and it was going to be a crappy day. And usually when we go to Denver, we lose. But
Mhm.
coming home with Aaron Rodgers against a rookie quarterback, I did not expect. Nobody expected that as a Jet fan. Where do I start? Of course, the coaching is atrocious because Breece Hall has not been the same this year.
No.
Braylon Allen is carrying the ball at least 4 or 5 yards a carry. He doesn't go down. So you're on first, second, third goal, and you run it to Breece Hall instead of giving it to Allen. That's a major coaching decision right there.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is why Aaron Rodgers is not connecting with
Garrett.
Garrett Wilson. Like I don't understand that Garrett Wilson's, I think, being a little bit of a, I don't want to say prima donna, but he's not listening to a 40-year-old Super Bowl winning quarterback, 4-time MVP. He's running slants where Rodgers wants him to run a certain, instead of running a 1 or 2 yard dig, he wants him to run the 3 yard dig. He's running the 1 yard dig and it's coming up short. And then he's fumbling the ball. So I find Garrett Wilson a tiny bit small, like when it comes to protecting the ball away. He likes to keep the ball out like he's Michael Jordan or something, like holding the ball out like this.
Yeah.
Not happy with that. The defense showed up. I mean, despite of our injuries and not having Reddick, I hope Reddick never comes to this team at all because, you know, that's my own opinion on Reddick.
I understand.
And I mean, I know we're only 2-2, and it's early in the season, but what a way to lose like an easy game at home. Like our schedule only gets tougher.
It's true.
And it sucks. Like I wake up and I'm pissed off. Like like everybody. Like instead of me going, even if, and it's not Greg the Leg's fault missing that kick. It is, but it's a 50-yard field goal in the rain, and you put yourself in that position to have to make a kick at that late when it should never have been. If Aaron
Yeah, it should have
Rodgers
never come down to that. 100%.
Rodgers literally, they scored 9 points, 3 field goals against a rookie quarterback at your own home in the rain. And the line, that's another thing. The line was consistently at his butt. And when he wasn't sacked, he was rushed. Like he had to throw the ball away. And it's a shame.
Constantly running around.
It really is a shame.
Yeah.
And I hope, like, because now I got actually the shit Sam Darnold jersey on because he's actually doing something. And
That's
I know
true.
he has Jefferson out there, but man, like I really pray to God that because if we lose this game to Minnesota,
Yeah.
in London,
Mm-hmm.
I could see us going down like on a couple road trip, especially if Rodgers is starting getting banged up with his legs and all that. He's getting older. We'll see what happens. I have faith. I pray.
Yes.
I don't want Salah fired yet, but we know who was in charge. Aaron Rodgers runs that offense, and he basically said it right to his face when he gave him that little push. You could see it, and he said yes. He said the 2-point score.
Yeah.
But at the end of the look on his eyes, was I'm in charge. You sit back and you play the defense, and I'm running this offense. And I just pray that the Jets, let's go, man. Like I said, 17-0. It was real. That was unrealistic for the NFL. Any team can be beaten on any Sunday.
Sure.
And let's go Jets, baby. That's
Love
all I
it.
could say. And Paul, thank you so much for taking my call.
Anytime, Tommy. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for calling in and sharing it. Yeah, to your point, I know there's a lot of people angry that want Salah fired. I will just reiterate what I'm about to say does not guarantee that it won't happen, but I think context and history is important. Woody Johnson, the owner of the New York Jets, has owned this team. He has owned it for 24 years. He bought the team in 2000. He has never, not once, fired a coach midseason. Now, that doesn't mean you will never fire a coach. Just because I've never gotten in trouble before in my life, if I suddenly got in trouble once, that's not impossible. But history says he's never done it. And boy, have there been some bad coaches over the last 24 years in which you're like, why has he not pulled the trigger? Which leads me to believe that he wouldn't. We'll see if that's true. I don't know. But he has never done it. And I don't believe he would do it. I know NY Jets FL said, this week, next week. Not this week, like the game coming up or the next game. It's a game-by-game basis. I just can't see it. I just can't see the team overreacting to a 2-3 or a 2-4. I don't know what it would have to be for it to happen. We'll see. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got Dalt here on the show, who's back to being a Boy Green Coffee Club member. We love to see it. What's up, brother?
Hey, appreciate you taking my call. I will say, for my first ever NFL game, that was horrible.
Oh.
Fucking horrible. Sorry for the effing.
No, feel free. Yeah, it's the internet.
But the problem I saw on offense, yes, Rodgers underthrew some throws, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The receivers were not getting open. I was specifically watching Garrett, Williams. I mean, Lazard got a little bit of space, but Lazard had the most space between his defender. I mean, every time the ball was thrown when Breece was trying to grab it and it was low. Oh, I don't know if I needed it. If he grabbed it when it was low, same with the Conklin, and it's just like he wasn't even open. There was actually no chance because it was a dive. Oh, he was catching it as he was hitting the ground. There was one specific play I was so upset about. Rodgers did like an out route, and there was Braylon Allen and someone else, and they were sitting together, not moving, getting open, and I was so frustrated.
So real quick on that play, because like Rodgers was frustrated after the play, so that would have been a first down. So Garrett Wilson ran a comeback route where he came up and then came back. It was sitting right by the sticks, which would have been a first down conversion. Braylon Allen ran like a flare where he's in the flat. He saw Rodgers roll out, so Braylon said, I'm gonna audible myself and I'm gonna just start running down the field. He and unfortunately his defender that was following Braylon, he brought into the player Garrett. So that ball that Aaron Rodgers threw, he's like, geez, Braylon, what the hell are you doing? You brought your defender in, which covered Garrett. Garrett was open. It would have been a first down. So that's an unfortunate, geez. That's not play design necessarily. That's just Braylon in the moment winging it, and he ends up doing that. So that was incredibly unfortunate.
Other than the offense, obviously the O-line didn't show up. I don't care. Not a single person didn't show up. Maybe I don't even know who was the best lineman of the day. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, right.
Breece. I love Breece. I am a Breece. I want Breece all the way. I have preached Breece for fantasy with all of my leagues, with my friends' leagues. Mm-hmm. I'm like, let's go Breece. Today, I knew as soon as the first play, I was like, put in Allen. Please just put in Allen. For some reason, Allen wants to go forward and wants that contact. And I feel like that is what we need for our gritty kind of football we're trying to, bring to the Jets now. Mm-hmm. And I love Hall, but he's just, like you said, he gets the ball and is like, down. Or gets the ball and goes left. Like, go forward.
And I don't know why. Like, again, on a couple of them, even Aaron Rodgers is looking at him and saying, what the hell happened? Is there imaginary rope that you just tripped over? I don't because there was a play where he handed it off and he continued the play action fake for people. Like, oh, is he passing it? So like a linebacker might think twice. So he handed it off and continued the fake, even though he didn't have the ball. And then he turned around and Breece is on the ground and I just saw him kind of cock his head sideways like, huh? What? And same as me. I'm like, oh, there's Breece. And he just like turf monster. He just tripped. And he did that on basically every carry. And I'm like,
yeah.
Again, and that's where I start questioning. So another caller said it. Is he hurt? Does he have the wrong cleats on? Is he wearing clown shoes? Like what in God's green earth is happening here that's causing some of these issues? So I'm still quite puzzled. I don't know what's going on with Breece. After the game, he didn't really seem to have a lot of answers to those questions. But again, he's a super talented guy. Breece is going to be on this team and for the next handful of years at the very least. And, just occasionally you just have to go to a different guy when it's not your day. And clearly it wasn't his day. I don't know why it wasn't his day in the rain. The last year Giant game, crap game. He had a 50-yard catch and run, juking people out in the middle of a rainstorm, and he was able to do it. So I don't know if it was rain or what, but he didn't have it. And I just wish the coaching staff and Breece even himself realized it and said, you know what, maybe we should go to somebody else right now because it's just not working.
Mm-hmm. Just two more things real quick. I will say, I know everyone keeps praising the defense for doing good. I don't think it was as good as nearly anyone says. I mean, I was at the game watching. Mm-hmm. Where was the blitzes? We didn't have a single sack.
Exactly.
I mean, we had the pressure, but like, come on. Like, we are supposed to be a top 5 defense in the league, especially with passing. I mean, rushing, I get it. But we still, to the first half, we did pretty good, in my opinion. We did pretty good. And then the second thing for what Tommy said, I agree with exactly what he said. Yes, we can be mad at Greg, but we should have never been in that position.
That's true.
He should have never – he made 3 field goals. So we're mad he missed 1. It's like, come on, like – we can't be mad at him.
And I'm not, because like I said, my fiance and baby came in the room right at that was the first time they entered the room, and I'm like, oh no, please leave. Like this is gonna be a jinx or something. But like when he missed it, I turned and just stared out. I have a glass window in my living room, and I just stared out of it. I didn't say like, damn it, Greg the leg. No, like I saw the miss and then I turned and was just looking out the window. But it wasn't like, crap, like you blew it for us. That not even now as I'm saying the words out of my, that didn't cross my mind once, because I'm like, all what would have happened if Greg the leg made that kick, the Jets of course would have won the game, but like it would have just saved us from the defeat. Yep. Like it would have just, we effed up the entire game and Greg the leg just would have had a cape. And what I hope is, because I don't want losses, obviously, but when you lose, you really have to stare yourself in the mirror and go, damn, how do we fix A, B, and C? I'm curious if Greg the leg makes that kick. Do we look at ourselves as hard in the mirror and say, we've got this issue, this issue, this issue? Because maybe you don't when you escape with the win, because then you get a lucky 4-leaf clover up your ass and you say, oh, well, okay, see, our plan worked the entire time. We were able to figure it out. So I really hope that this loss is impactful from a standpoint of the Jets going, whoa, we need to fix a lot of this crap. We've got to clean up our issues. We're about to do international with an undefeated team, and we can't be playing around. We're quickly going to come back to the United States of America, 2-3, playing the Buffalo Bills for a chance to go to 2-4. So I hope that this is, I don't want to say wake-up call because that's like such an annoying, stupid thing to say, because an NFL franchise should not need a wake-up call in week 4. I just really hope that they can buckle up. But yeah, I don't. Anyone who's blaming Greg the leg saying, what a loser for missing that kick, I'm like, he could have saved us, sure, but like, come on, man, it should have. We
should have scored at the 1-yard line. Just saying.
Exactly, and then the game's over. 100%.
All right, Paul, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. You guys have a great rest of your morning. Everyone have a good one.
There you go, Dalt. I'm glad that you were able to go to a game. I apologize to you and your family. Then, unfortunately, that was the game you had to see, to be honest. All right, let's go to another YouTube Super Chat. Every time we get a YouTube Super Chat, we're here for my daughters. Right, Luna?
Wow.
Appreciate that. Dyke Tyson jumping in on a Super Chat. Stop the coddling. Hall, love Hall, but we win yesterday. If Allen was put in on 1st and goal from the 1, he wasn't, to save Hall's feelings, infuriating. I couldn't agree more. And Salah basically seemed to suggest that in the postgame when Salah was asked, why didn't you put in Braylon Allen? He's like, it was early in the game. Again, I still don't even know what that means. It was the end of the first quarter. I'm not sure what time has to do with anything. So put that one aside. We're just like, Breece, our guy, we're going to ride him. And that is just, infuriating, obviously, but the word is stubborn, like that you're not willing to adapt. You're a coach. You got to call audibles at the line of scrimmage. Sure, maybe you went into the game saying, we're going to give Breece 1,000 carries. Oh, wait, Breece doesn't have it. I guess we got to give someone else the carries. And Braylon Allen is a capable guy. We're not saying play the practice squad guy. Boy, he would make the difference if you just went to him. That's not what we're saying. We're saying go to Braylon, who every time he freaking touches the football, good things happen. Coaches, please, I'm begging you, man. Use Braylon Allen. You don't have to use Braylon Allen exclusively, but Breece Hall operates best in space. Braylon Allen operates best when he's a friggin' human battering ram against the defense. If we can see it, why can't you? Feels like a campaign speech. But come on, man. Come on. Some of this is simple stuff. Simple stuff. If we punch it in from the 1 yard line, we win the game. At a minimum, we're up 3, and then the Broncos are playing for overtime. God, so much. Anywho, I feel a little better after that. We got 600 people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. We're getting closer to 7,000 subscribers. Before the show started, we were 29 away. We'll see how we continue to go there. All right, let's go to the phone lines. And Johnny boy, look at this. Let's throw it up on the screen for you here, Johnny. A snowball masterpiece. There we are. Boom. The Johnny boy emoji is now live. Snowball banged this out last night. There you go, Johnny. What say you?
Is that supposed to be me in the Trojan helmet?
Yeah, I believe that's what he was going for. Yeah.
I don't even know what Trojans are, bro. What are those?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, ineffective, perhaps, like some of the Jets play calling yesterday, but that's neither here nor there. So there you go. Old Johnny boy. Yeah, you were emojiized. It happened.
Hey, so I was trying to call yesterday, but my kids were going crazy. It's my life now, essentially.
No, of course.
I didn't get to really finish it. Kind of piggybacking off what Ted was saying in regards with the whole Aaron stuff and the press. Look, that's not a good look when you got your main guy going on the actual press conference and saying, like, well, how about keeping people accountable? I think for myself and a lot of other Jet fans, right, we've all felt in the sense of with Salah that we were going to keep him on a short leash. We cannot continue to keep doing this. We can't come off of a small bye week per se and look the way we look. Now, people are going to say, oh, Denver's not a bad squad. Denver's this and all that. Fuck all that noise. And I'm sorry for using my Guatemalan would say and all that. We should have beat the bricks off of Denver. Okay? Do you think Baltimore last night went into that game and said, I don't know if we're going to be okay with the Bills and all that? No, they went into that shit saying, we're going to beat the shit out of the Bills, and that's it, and we're taking names with it. And if you guys don't like it, I don't know what to say. Like, and that's the Ravens talking about the Bills, okay?
Sure.
So I'm saying that. The mentality that we continue to keep having and giving excuses for this team that, unfortunately, they haven't proven anything. From what I'm seeing on paper, Salah's given us a lot more losses than wins, okay? Joe Douglas, look, I love Joe Douglas, and I think Joe Douglas, he's done what he's supposed to do. He's put the players on paper that we need for us to be successful. And now it takes the actual coaching staff and it takes them to go ahead and what he put on paper come to light. And it's just not happening. We should have won that game last night. This is something that could potentially, if we're talking about playoff, Super Bowl, all these different aspirations that we got as a football organization and it's not occurring, this hurts us. That hurts. The game that was the slap in the face was the San Francisco game. Yeah. Okay. And that should have been it itself. Even them with all the injuries and all that, they still found a way to beat a team yesterday. Yes, was it the Patriots? Are the Patriots good? No, and anything like that. But in Jets fashion, right? It's what Denver was. I don't see Denver being anything better than what the Patriots are.
Definitely not.
To be 100% honest with you.
No.
It's the same team. But we lost to a rookie quarterback. People need to understand that. We lost to a rookie quarterback last night
who threw 60 passing yards. Yeah,
exactly, which is nuts. It's like what he said, and it's like what Ted was saying with the whole Bill Belichick stuff. Bill Belichick would have never let that happen. Okay, this holding hands, kumbaya crap that you got in the locker rooms, and people are like, oh, please be my friend. F all that noise. Your damn job's on the line, buddy. And you need to go ahead and understand that. I get Breece Hall. We love Breece Hall. I love Breece Hall. I think that kid's magical, but he just didn't have it last night. Why would you not give it to the kid that you drafted that's, I don't know, 20 years old, 6 foot 1,000, 300,000 pounds, and he literally falls down and gets 1.5 yards every single time? No sense. It doesn't. And if anything, look, I hope, okay, I hope going into Minnesota, right? But what we see, thank God for this defense.
Yeah, for sure.
The defense is the biggest reason why we will be in every game. Thank God for Aaron Rodgers. If this was us last year, bro, we're losing this game 10-3. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? Like, I understand the Greg the Leg situation and all that. I don't know what's going on with him. I thought it was weird as shit that they brought in a kicker and had him battling against the summer.
And the kicker's been great. He's 10 for 10 or something this season. Austin Siebert, with the Commanders, I believe is where he's at.
Correct. And they talk about a team, and like I'm pretty sure I said it in your show. That's my sleeper team, man.
Damn, they're way better than I thought.
Like, again, look, now I'm not trying to be that negative Jets fan because I'm not. I'm just being realistic as it comes right now. And we need to be realistic, and we need to stop giving Salah such a like, oh, it was okay. It was the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos. I repeat that, guys. The Denver Broncos that had Zach Wilson there. This was supposed to be a game that we were supposed to be like just chilling on a Sunday, relaxing, really getting ready for Minnesota because that's going to be a challenge. Not losing to the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos that talked junk about your coach just a year ago. On that, what does that show? I mean, Aaron Rodgers was pissed, as he should be. And then you got your coach coming up there talking about people were playing sloppy, people were doing this. Maybe the cadence, right? Maybe we should just push it a little bit back and don't. What? Bro, that's what Aaron Rodgers is. And that's helped us out. All right. That's the rant that I wanted to talk about yesterday. Okay, that I wasn't able to because I had kids falling out of cribs yesterday.
Oh, God.
Diapers needed to be changed. Wife was just going nuts. Still going nuts, taking my daughter to school.
I see.
But all I'm saying, Boy Green, is I'm preparing you for what's to come.
Oh boy.
You're the man. And again, like I said, man, look, it's not over for the season. Still the beginning. We could fix all this stuff and fix all this noise. It's just we need to have Salah show it. Okay, we can't come into a game unprepared and not looking like, what did we just do? We're riding the coattails off beating the Patriots when the Patriots suck. It's a team that you should beat.
Yes.
These are games you should be winning. And I understand, well, we haven't won a lot and all that. But you got vets that have been in there and have won in the past before itself and are acting like it. Again, and look, and Breece Hall's all right. He's going to be okay. But if Braylon Allen is hot, give that man the rock and let him rock. It's the reason why we got him. And Garrett Wilson, that's the last one I'm going to say. I love Garrett Wilson, but there is something between him and Aaron Rodgers that's not there. It has affected him a lot more, him going down 4 plays last year, and you're seeing it. Do I think they're going to be okay? Yes. There were some routes yesterday. If you look back at the game itself, he gave up on those routes. Okay? And he was supposed to be in places where even the commentating, which I don't like the commentating on the games. Anyways, he's like, look at the difference between Lazard and Garrett Wilson. At least Lazard is looking back every single time almost to see where freaking Aaron Rodgers' eyes are because that ball is going to come out and it'll come out at any moment. These are things that could be taught, and this, I say that to say this. If we got the opportunity to get Devontae, and this is supposed to be our year, you pick up that dude and you get it because he already has that relationship with Aaron. BG, I'm out. I got to drop this kid off. And peace. Love you, brother.
All right, there he is. Johnny Boy here on the show. By the way, real quick, Terrence Hill. Congrats, Johnny, by the way, on the emoji. Terrence Hill gifting a membership here. Dyke Tyson, you're now a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. Shout out to Terrence, baby. You were giving us a YouTube super chat earlier. You are now a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. Flip it. We're 46 members away from MFC, mother_effing_chew, from getting his emoji. The only thing I would say that puts us in a somewhat compromising position is the Raiders keep winning. Despite everything, they beat the Browns yesterday. So that makes it more difficult to envision a potential Devontae Adams trade, to be honest with you. Although I will tell you, when Devontae Adams out, he's week to week, I kind of smiled and went, Jets? But, as they keep winning, like, oh boy, that seems incredibly difficult to envision at this point. It certainly seems that way. Again, things can change, and we'll see what happens. By the way, a super chat coming in. Let's hear from my dad.
Wow.
OG Jets fan, 1985. JETS, keep up the great work, Boy Green. Thanks for supporting the show, OG. Appreciate you, pal. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me make sure I didn't miss any other super chats here. There's always skip the queue, as we say. Appreciate all the comments pounded in here. You guys are awesome. All right, let's go. We got a lot of callers here to get to. So let's see. Let's go to Easy. You're on the show. Easy, I'll come back to you. It sounds like you're going through a tunnel or something. All right, we'll come back to you. You're breaking up. All right, FL Phil 98, you're up.
Morning, BG.
Oh boy,
rough one. I know. And I caught your show yesterday. I watched it this morning. And between that and today, everything that can be said has been said. I don't know if you remember my call yesterday. My feeling was, it's a solid thing. It kind of reminds me of Kotite. All right. Not as dramatic, but like he was known as a player's coach. He was getting killed by the media about, these guys are not working out like they should be and this and that. And he actually publicly said, they're grown men. They know what they're supposed to do, Okay. There's a feeling about that. And that's why I had the feeling I did about this game. And you know what? If that kick goes through, it would have went exactly as I thought. Ugly game. They weren't prepared, looked like shit, but because of number 8, they found a way. And if that kick went through, that's exactly what the game was. Mm-hmm. But the fire alarm wouldn't be going off the way it is because he didn't make that kick.
That's right. And again, I repeat what I said earlier, but it's worth saying again. I don't want losses. In a perfect world, the Jets are 20-0 and they would beat everybody. It's great. But now that I can't change it, I don't have a magic wand. I have not been granted those powers from the gods yet to go back in time and flip things. But with the Jets losing, I hope that this moment, now that it's a loss, and it is what it is, it's out in the ethos. The Jets lost to the Broncos 10-9. I have confirmed that with my waking up and thinking that was a horrible dream. That indeed did happen. And since it did, I hope the Jets could go, holy friggin' crap. I hope they're as embarrassed and disgusted as all us fans are that they lost that pathetic game and use it as like, holy crap. Because I think you're right. If the Jets would have squeaked out a Zerline hero cape win, they'd be like, yeah, see, we're the Jets. And we just, the team of destiny, we just figure it out. Even when we're playing like shit and don't prepare us well, we're just going to we're going to pull a win out of our ass. So I think, hopefully, this delivers in a way that it couldn't have possibly delivered if you had that saving win, because that's all we'd be talking about is Greg Zuerlein saving the day.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And like I said, the fire alarm wouldn't be going off that's going off. But we're all talking about it. The media is going to talk about it. Yeah. What I've seen from Salah, and it's why I've never been a guy who's like, fire the coach, because what are you going to do? Who comes next? It's not that simple. All right. Mm-hmm. But in this case, I do think this guy, if this continues, you have to strongly consider it.
Where's your line? So NY Jets FL said basically it's a game-to-game basis at this point. He's kind of looking at Vikings, Buffalo, depending on what's happening here these next 2 weeks. Is that the line for you?
Yeah, I think it all depends on how they look over the next couple of weeks. And especially if they go and get their asses handed to them and look like as bad as they did this week. And I mean, by the way, I put in the comments from July, this team will go as far as the offensive line will take them. All right. They're not run blocking well. And up till now, they've done a decent job in protection. It was a jailbreak all day yesterday. Okay. We can't have Aaron Rodgers running for his life.
Definitely not.
You know, this is a fucking disaster waiting to happen. So, you know, something's got to change. And I wrote a comment a little while ago. It said, you know, you said Woody Johnson never fired a coach. If he knows anything about football, he will fire this one at some point soon if this continues. But then I put in brackets, unless Aaron Rodgers objects.
Right. Well, right. That's it. Yes. Yes.
Right. So this is really all about, does Aaron Rodgers want Salah around? Okay. And I do think there's a certain amount of, you know, hugging each other and like, fuck all the noise. Don't worry about that shit. They're all going to talk shit. Okay. You know, he's whispering in his ear, don't let the bastards get to you. You know what I mean? Like it's a mess. And that's what I'm afraid of, is this is just like, they're all really kumbaya. They don't give a shit about this. That's why Salah can sit up there and go, yeah, maybe we should look at that. Because that's his Belichick to the media. You know, that's what he's doing. He's just like, yeah, okay, yeah, I hear you. Yeah, maybe we should have done that. Fuck you. You know what I mean?
That pissed me off, to be honest. When he said something like that, like maybe we'll look at it. I'm like, come on, man. Like, what kind of shitty ass response is that? Yeah, we'll go watch that on tape. Oh, you'll go watch on tape what we saw live? Like, oh boy, we should probably do that. Like, come on, man. Come on.
Yep. Well, like you said, and a bunch of other guys, everybody and their brother knew that Braylon Allen should have gotten at least 2 cracks at the end zone. I don't know what the hell the guy's doing. And if it's all about Breece is our guy, well, you know, something's got to change. Either Breece has to get better or Salah's got to go.
Yeah. I think you're right. I appreciate the call, Phil.
Take care, Jeff.
All right, there you go. Yeah, again, something's got to change. Something's got to flip. You just have to be willing to adapt. But based on new information, I could say, okay, against Denver, I'm throwing the ball to Garrett Wilson 100 times, which would make Terrence incredibly happy wherever he is. Make him very happy. Say, I'm throwing it to him 100 times. Then all of a sudden, you're like, whoa, they are quadruple teaming Garrett Wilson. I can no longer throw it to him 100 times unless I want a bunch of picks. I got to pivot. I got to make a different decision. So, all right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got a lot of people waiting. We got Scott here on the show. What's up, Scott?
Hey, Paul. Great show. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to start with coaching first, I guess. Let's just get that right out of the way. This team almost is like inept on offense. You look around the league. I'm not going to put it all on Aaron Rodgers. We'll get to the O-line. We'll get to the receivers, and we'll get to Aaron. But you look at our playbook. There's no intuition. There's no like pulse of a game. Like, this is our playbook. It's almost like this is what we're doing. Even on defense, you have your gap. Don't try and shuck them off. You stay in your gap. What happens, happens. We beat you. There's no intuition. There's no adapting to it. Like, hey, it's raining out. I got Breece and Braylon Hall. I got AVT. I got Tittman. I got Sitman. Nothing. Like you said, right up the gut. The kid's a powerhouse. Give it to him. And even if you don't want to do that, stick like a pig. Stick like a Max Mitchell. You want to get in a game? Stick him in the backfield. Plow right through.
Yeah.
You know, there was no attitude. It's football. It's physical. Now, every position doesn't have to be physical. Like a cornerback or a quarterback, it's different from a linebacker. You
sure,
know.
Of course.
Offensively, on the O-line, the guys were coming through unscathed. You saw like Tyron, great player. The guy's awesome. The guy just cut right in. Never even saw him. Went right through, smashing. Right side, O-line doesn't like to move laterally. You know, so those B gaps, the peripheral. You know, you always say like peripheral vision with a running back, a quarterback. You know, checking out both sides. O-line needs it too. You know, you see those double crosses coming, across delayed.
You got to pass off responsibilities. Absolutely. Yeah.
100%. You never saw any adjustment being like, guys, this isn't working. You don't have to, dig in hard into the playbook, but it's just so generic all the time. Receiver wise, Did they even give Aaron a hot receiver to look at? And when you
I
look when
know.
he's
On
ready,
all these blitzes. Come on, man.
even if they're coming, they're hot. I need a hot receiver, anybody. Every time he's ready to throw, because you know the O-line was they were getting pressure and penetration. So it's like, okay, guys, we're not going to go as deep. You got to cut it short, right?
Yeah.
Every time you look when he needed to throw, always going to throw, he sees back and feet. I can't throw it at your feet. Does anyone have, look back? When you're looking at the line as your receiver and see, oh, I see two guys on the C gap. Hey, I got to cut it short. Hey, none of it. They just ran straight out. Look disengaged, like, hey, you're supposed to go here. No, I want to throw it here. Or I want to be over here. You see two receivers in the same 3-yard span. I could guard both of us. It's amazing to me where you look at we lost to a team. The quarterback threw for 60 yards. Now they ran for a $128. Okay, so they're going to run the ball. The only thing a new quarterback is going to have the receivers either go deep or you have to cut in, or it's like a dig, just come at me. He can't do anything lateral. It's raining out. He threw for 60 yards and we lost. And that peripheral vision, when Sutton came, he came from the opposite side of the field. You're looking at someone, I don't see anybody. Is there anybody to the right? He's wide open.
Yeah.
That's a blown cover.
Yeah.
It's
on third and long. Yeah.
And it's not even like, okay, they out-physicaled us. It's out-coached us. We just look like an amateur team, man.
Yeah. Felt that way.
All the way around. And I'm not sure like how we can go from, okay, Tennessee's not that bad, but Levis will just give you whatever. They're really not. New England, offensive-wise, they're slow like us, kind of. Mm-hmm. Decent defense. What did you see? Nothing. No intuition, no play calling changes, not even opening up the playbook. And you see Aaron just getting beat up all the time. Can we run? Can we run outside? Could we do a quick hitch to Breece into the slot, have him wide, and just say, hey, my receivers block for him? Just a 2-3 yard pass, move the chains. We're going to get destroyed by the Vikings if this continues, dude. And down the road, our last caller talked about it, Phil. Great stuff. It's coming down the pike, guys. I don't see how this team can be that bad with this veteran amount of talent. Is that fair to say?
100%. It's very fair to say. How do you, again, someone just said it in the comment section, like good teams find ways to win those kind of crappy games that are going all kinds of ways. They're like, okay, we look around on the sideline. Guys, this game is hanging in the balance. It sucks so far. Let's grab this thing. It is hanging there to be had. Let's grab this thing and show them, despite it not being our best effort. And this team is incredibly talented. So,
And you look at what makes a good team? All right, just comeback ability, yes. You want to say like Patrick Mahomes doing all the things he does. That's legendary stuff, man. I mean, forget that stuff, guys. He's so agile. But what do? Throughout the game, first, second, third, fourth quarter, overtime, they just keep consistently making a big play. Somebody does something. Move the chains. It's just keep it going. It's not always the big plays, just, consistent, decent, just stay into the game. Okay, they score, we score, back and forth, we're down 10, okay, but we consistently chip away. None of it, dude. It was just a disaster. It was a debacle on every front. O-line, receiving-wise, running-wise, there's no concepts. Just looked like amateurish. I don't know how else to describe it, man.
That's the way to describe it. And again, we mentioned it earlier in the show, and you've hinted at it. The next 3 weeks are against the undefeated Vikings, the first place Buffalo Bills in the AFC East, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, who were previously undefeated prior to yesterday in Pittsburgh, and they have one of the best defenses in the NFL. The Jets have to buckle the chin strap right quick, or else it's just not going to happen, Scott. So appreciate the call, and the calls have been great. So, Scott, thanks for calling in the show, man. Thanks for jumping over here. We appreciate it. All right, another membership. Dyke Tyson, a new member to the Boy Green Coffee Club. He's hashtag paying it forward, baby. See it, baby. We got a new member to the Boy Green Coffee Club. That is Lucas M. You have now been gifted a Boy Green Coffee Club membership. So let's flip the script down here. We're now 45 members away from MFC. Thank you to everybody. We have 700 people in the room right now, and we have plenty of calls. So let's keep that train rolling. I'll get to as many of you as possible here before. Oh, wow. Another membership from Dyke Tyson. So let's play the chimes one more time. Yes, babe. I want to make sure I don't miss that one. Infrared Jets, good guy that we all know and love. He just got gifted a membership, so I must update the banner again. We're now 44, which is a legendary number around here, baby. 44 here in Syracuse town, here in with Ernie Davis and Floyd Little and Jim Brown. Okay, appreciate it, Dyke Tyson. Thanks for spreading the love, baby. Okay, well, now another membership. Good Lord, have mercy! It's raining from the heavens. Whoa. Okay, Wild Wave. Wow, we're getting some celebrity people getting in here on all these membership receives. We are 43. Okay, love the positive vibes after a crappy game. Okay, there we go, baby. Beautiful, juicy. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got Uncle Tio joining us. Funkle.
What's going on, Paul? I want to say shout out to the coffee club. Like, sure. don't let this get you down. You know what I mean? It's all part of a long season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So, you know, I'm not going to rinse and repeat a lot of the same points that that are obvious points that you can see as intelligent football fans of the issues that happened yesterday. I'm not gonna repeat that.
Okay.
I'm gonna take it in a different direction, kind of like with some analogies and just a different perspective on this.
Okay.
So the first point I have is, was the mini buy an issue for us? Like, were we smelling our own shit? You know what I mean? Like, you know, the Jets are here. We're back. We're coming. And you know what I mean? Like, everybody took their little time off, and, you know, maybe we weren't focused on this particular team. We beat them, 2 straight years, and, at their place, and now they're home. This is just like kind of a homecoming. They're equivalent to the New England Patriots. Were we smelling our own, fumes at that point? So that's the first point. I think that we might have been a little bit distracted, and that's why I mentioned last week that this might be a trap game. So that's my first point. My second point is this. As a fan, one of the things that, you kind of see with former players, they come back or whatever, JFM, what do we trade JFM for? Like a cup of coffee and a dozen donuts?
In 30 years, right? It's not even a pick in the near future, right?
And I mean, and God knows we need JFM in the middle of this line right now, as currently constructed. So, I mean, that was a big mistake. We should have paid him for what he got, eventually with
super reasonable. And even JFM came out and said it. I think it's like a 2-year deal for $15 million off the top of my head. I won't look it up. It doesn't matter. But like whatever it was, Jet fans tweeted at JFM saying, "Man, that's all you wanted? Like, damn, why didn't you sign that with the Jets?" JFM tweets out, he's like, "They didn't offer me anything close to this." So apparently the Jets gave an insulting offer to JFM. He goes like, "Up yours, get traded to the Broncos," and signs for a deal that we're all like, "Damn, we'd pay him that right this moment." It's like a 2-year deal for $15 million, which is exactly the same amount of money that Hassan Reddick is set to make this year.
Yeah, and then he turns around and he stops that third down debacle play, in the first quarter, and gets a sack. I mean, like, was very instrumental in, their defense stopping us. So that's another point that I wanted to bring up. But I wanted to bring up that point to bring up an analogy that I had.
I love analogies.
From the end of the game. So, you ever had a bad breakup, and after the breakup, you're like, you start to like self-actualize, get some self-actualization. Like, man, did I do something wrong, or did was it me? Or
you're evaluating what the hell went happen.
Evaluating yourself, your personality, your environment, your life. Should I move? I mean, like everything is in play, right?
Yeah, sure.
At the end of the game, what I saw as a Jets fan was Zach Wilson raising his hands up in the air saying, "It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was them. It was them, not me."
Yeah.
And then on the other side, you're seeing Aaron Rodgers with a freaking towel over his face. Like, now I know what it is to be a New York Jet. This is what I saw yesterday. This is not being negative. This is just the life and the trials of being a New York Jet and a New York Jet fan. And just, bringing it to the attention of the masses that, like, hey, we've been through this before. We've seen this, but we still have Aaron Rodgers. Okay. And when you have that man on your side, trust me, he can get frustrated, but he will come back. He has been through the ringer himself. He has been doubted on many occasions throughout his career, and even before his career started in the NFL. So, we're 2-2. Hey, I'll take it. Was it a bad loss? Should we have won this game? Yeah. I mean, listen. This has already been said, the synergy between Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson needs to improve. But I'm going to make this last point. Devontae Adams is happening.
Ooh,
it's not a question of how, it's a question of when. Devontae Adams is happening. He will be on this team this year. You can book it.
Book it. Okay.
Book it.
I love it, Funkle. And boy, could we use it. Someone who's got that. That's for damn sure. So, Tio, appreciate it. Thanks, brother, for the call. Damn straight. A lot of really, really good points there. A lot of really good points. All right, let's go to our next caller here. Let's give him a second whack at the pinata. I think he's out of that dead zone. Easy.
I am out of the dead zone.
Here we go. We got you. All right. It's all yours, Easy.
What it was the wand was too far away. See, I moved the wand away. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
No. Now you can hear me. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Because I was sipping my Boy Green coffee.
Hey, there you go. Hey, we gotta.
That you need to come out with a Boy Green coffee brand.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, me and the crack staff will work on that ASAP.
You know how you celebs, you got every rapper in the country selling some kind of booze. So, you can sell some coffee. Anyway, What a shit loss.
Yeah.
I have some observations. Number one, the Broncos were run blitzing on every play. They were just shooting every gap and stuffing every hole. Yeah. Because Sean Payton knows, because of what he said, that our coaches suck. They don't adapt. He knew that Hackett was just going to keep calling, run up the middle, run up the middle, run up the middle. And he was going to keep using Breece Hall because he's crazy. And the definition of crazy is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. The second thing is the Jets didn't blitz at all, hardly. What they have, one, maybe two blitzes the whole game. They did it last week, and it was insanely effective. Now, maybe we didn't use it much because we had a bunch of 3-and-outs on defense. We got to give kudos to the defense. They let one drive slip past them. One. They gave up 10 points. What were they saying Aaron Rodgers' record was when the defense gives up less than a certain amount of points? 80-10?
Yeah.
Or 80 and something like that? All right. So he notches a loss because of this shit? Greg Zuerlein has been sketchy for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He almost missed another one today. When he went to kick that 50-yarder, I turned to my buddy at the Jet Bar, and I said, I think it's going to be right because he almost missed left.
Yeah.
I swear I said that. I hope to God I didn't jinx it. It was my gut feeling, and It was because at that point we were all happy because we were like, "Holy shit, we played like shit. We lost the game, and now with a minute 40, we got one more crack."
That was it. They got me back in. They got me back in 100%. I said it in the game. I'm like, "Oh, we're down. We're
going to grab victory from the jaws of defeat."
That's exactly what I said. I said to myself. I said it out loud in the room.
But you know something? Maybe this loss will teach them you can't take any team for granted. Mm-hmm. And if you don't adapt, you die. Salah is a great defensive mind. Sure. Why in the hell didn't he say to Hackett, why are you putting Breece in? He's having a bad day. That's his call. You got to remember, shit floats, but it also rolls downhill. So,
sure. Wow.
The personnel decision is ultimately up to Salah. He cannot continue to delegate everything to Hackett because he don't adapt. That's why the only time Hackett was ever good was when he had Rodgers out there, because if Hackett called a run play and Rodgers comes up to the line and looks and says, we can't run against this. He'd call a swing or a wheel route or he'd, tip his toe to the outside or tap his head or something, and the receivers would do something different. But he's got to have the personnel. And on the first and goal,
yeah.
I like what I think the caller 2 callers ago mentioned Max Mitchell. Yeah. We should have at least why would you have a defensive lineman in the backfield and not use Braylon Allen?
Bizarre.
You're a running back. I was a running back.
Yeah.
That's called a running back running through the hole by himself is called a dive play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a running back with a fullback or another blocker is called a blast. So if you're going to call a 30 blast, why wouldn't you have an offensive lineman there? Or at least have like not Max Mitchell, Braylon Allen do a direct snap and do a tush push. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, why not?
I would have had Braylon Allen take a direct snap and do a tush push. It was a yard. He's a beast. And then he could have had like Max Mitchell right behind him, pushing him through. There's no way they would have stopped that. Absolutely. There's no freaking way. Mm-hmm. There's the laws of physics.
That's how I understand them. Yeah.
But if they fire Salah,
yeah,
what they should do, and I agree with this 100%. This is my feeling.
Yeah.
You keep Ulbrich as your head coach.
Interesting.
And you get an offensive monster calling plays. You gotta get, like a couple of years ago when everyone was saying, "Oh, well, this isn't that." I would have fired Salah. I would have promoted Ulbrich mid-season, and then at the end of the year, I'd have hired Harbaugh.
Yeah, but
as our offensive coordinator.
So if we do that, is Hackett still calling plays with Ulbrich as the head coach?
Oh, hell no.
Then who is it? It's got to be someone probably on the staff. It's probably unrealistic to hire someone outside in the middle of the season.
Zach Wilson could have called better plays last year.
No, that's fair enough. Maybe you just let Aaron Rodgers do it. That could be possible. Easy. All right, we got to get to one last caller, and I got to run to the radio station. Let's do our last one. It is our guy B-Mac, who always serves in the closure role.
Gave you all this power, built so much of this around you, and you're going to be that upset
B-Mac?
over the phrasing of you missing a mandatory game. You're going to let a rift cause if what you're speculating is true. But I also do think there may be a little truth to that because he's not covering for his head coach, just like his head coach did not cover for him. He is very quick to make it known that he doesn't believe they're on the same page. He doesn't come out and say it directly, but he's insinuating it more than once.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was watching the media. I'm so sorry. How long was I on?
Like 5 minutes.
Oh my God! Second time, man. Second time this happened.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you fell asleep there. I was trying to wake you up. I was trying to shake the camera. Nothing happened there. Anywho, so yeah, B-Mac, we can.
I'm sorry. Apologize in the chat.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. We're running out of time, but like I said, I wanted to make you our last caller to give us our final thoughts on the show.
I just bring it. I just want to just come on real quick. I make it quick. You know what I mean? I'm still upset about yesterday. I still can't believe that the Jets lost that game. I just think again, man, this team needs a lot of soul searching this week. A lot of soul searching this week, and I don't know, man. Did he come to Jesus Christ moment, something like that? Because this team has a lot of work to do, and they are far away from being a Super Bowl contender. They might get into the playoffs. They might sneak in to get a wild card round. But I think as I just saw yesterday, I think that's as far as they're gonna get, and because Super Bowl teams, that's not Super Bowl team yesterday. It's just not. And
you got to prove it. There's no doubt about it. 100%. No, go ahead. Your other thing.
The thing, real quick, is that people want to talk. People saying about getting Devontae. Like, do you think Devontae? Like, I just think there's a lot of issues on this team just not having Devontae. Right? Do you think Devontae would have helped yesterday? You know what I mean? With all the other issues that was going on.
I think he would have probably, because
really,
again,
think so.
Yeah, well, two things, like Garrett Wilson missed a couple of plays that obviously Devontae probably would have been looking for. So that's number one. Number two, again, on the Devontae thing, I'd love for Devontae to show up. I'd love for him to be a part of the team, but the Raiders keep winning. So, like, when is Devontae coming? I don't know, but T.O. said put it in the book, so maybe it's going to happen. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the season will spin off in different directions, but Adam Schefter sent out a weird tweet yesterday about Devontae Adams trade conversation, so that's kind of interesting. So we'll see. No, there's a lot of issues, obviously, and we have to go through a lot of things. There's wide receiver, there's offensive line, there's pass rushing. The Jets had 0 sacks yesterday. Yeah, there's a lot of problems we have to kind of sort through.
Yeah, so look, these next few games are gonna tell us a lot about what this team is made of. And I'm with Phil. If they come out and we see the same thing happen again next week, and we get embarrassed next week and the week after, and I think Woody Johnson needs to pull the plug and let Robert Salah go. And I think Rodgers will agree with that, because it seems like he doesn't like Robert Salah, and it seems like they're not on the same page. And you can tell Rodgers wants Salah gone too. So.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Well, B-Mac, thanks for the call, and appreciate whatever soap opera or whatever happened to be happening there. I'm not sure, but I'm glad that B-Mac hang on tight. Guys, I got to go to the radio station, so sorry to the remaining callers. I can't get to you, but we'll try to get some more going. I'll be back on for Boy Green Daily tomorrow morning. Thank you to the 700 people in the room. Thank you for the super chats. Thanks for the memberships. Thanks for spreading the good gospel. And welcome to the Jets community, baby. If you're new to the community for the Boy Green Coffee Club, we're live every single day at 7:30 in the morning. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning for some more Jets talk. Take care, everybody.